So we have Molly Lennon, Janelle Keith, and Bob Kalin on the line right now. They're actually coming to us from Carson City, Nevada. We want to welcome them and thank them for participating with us. And what they're going to do is they're going to take us through their journey, through the state of Nevada's journey, on how they were able to really transform and improve the service for that delivery of services to the residents of Nevada for the DMV. And the one thing, and Janelle will cover this in more detail, but it's so important. It doesn't matter whether you live in California, Nevada, New York, or here in Hawaii. The real challenge is change management. And one of the things that we had fun with at Dreamforce with the Nevada team was just kind of doing the YMCA, but doing OCM, Office of Change Management. So we want to focus on change, right? Being able to focus on how we can help the people within the organization accept change and be able to make that possible. And Janelle will talk about that in great detail. So let me hand this over to Molly, Janelle, and Bob, and they'll take you through their journey, as I mentioned, and then we'll be able to take some questions at the end. So Nevada team, over to you.
Hi everyone. I will let Natalie let us know in chat if you can't hear us. So we're hoping that you can hear us okay. We are very excited to be a part of this. I'm sorry we couldn't be there in person, but we really appreciate the chance to participate and share our story with you. So I think that there were some introductions that happened already. My name is Molly Lennon. I am the administrator for the Nevada DMV Research and Project Management Division and the lead for our transformation effort. I was truly raised at the DMV, so this story is really exciting to tell. We're at the beginnings of our journey, but are already seeing the impact. So we'll be sharing our story up to this point, some best practices. I think for a little background, how we got here and how we landed on Salesforce as our platform and started down this path. A big catalyst for that was the pandemic. As I'm sure for most of you, public sector and private sector, we were all impacted by that. We were unable to serve our customers who were new residents. They didn't have any services with us, no vehicles in our system, no credentials with us. And coming out of the pandemic, it was very clear to us that we needed to focus on providing efficient services to all of our customers in the face of a shutdown or any other format that we needed to provide, whether it be via a cell phone, the internet. In conjunction with that, we needed to focus on our staff, providing them the ability to continue working under any circumstance and improve their work-life balance. Our leadership had a very specific vision, and it led us down a path of customer centricity. Our focus is our customer, and that includes our staff. With that, I will go over just quickly our agenda, and we will dive into our journey. We're going to talk about our North Star, which is our customer and our staff. We're going to talk about our iterative design process. We'll do a quick dive into our system, what's on the horizon ahead for state of Nevada DMV, and our best practices that we would like to share with you. And then I believe we have time for questions and answers at the end. On that note, I would like to turn it over to our organizational change manager, Janelle.
Hi, aloha, hello Hawaii. It's very nice to be included in your Innovation Day. Thanks for having us. Molly mentioned our North Star, our customers and our employees. That really is our main focus. And the OCM piece, the organizational change management piece, is really the Milky Way. So we're sprinkled throughout. We're trying to get everywhere all at once to make sure that the internal engagement, communications, and training is both internal and external is taken care of. Do you know Nevada and Hawaii have something in common? I'm going to use a little bit of your terminology. Nevada and Hawaii both have ohana. We both have an intense love of community. We have an intense love for each other as a team. And we also, our DMV is our work, ohana. And we all really care about each other and have been through a lot. Molly has longevity at DMV. I do as well. I've been with the Nevada DMV for 21 years. And we are vested in this project and very excited to move along with you. We have a lot to cover. So right now, I'm just going to let you know that we were able to gather our human-centered focus through surveys through the public and also through our Nevada DMV employees. We were able to create personas, and we'll be able to show you some pictures of those so that you have an idea of what that means. And we have to put a face with our current processes to make sure that we're putting our people first. We need to make sure that our employees are recognized. We have 7 different divisions, how many offices? 17 different offices. And we need to make sure that our 1,200 employees are represented and thought about as we make these changes. We are engaging in every office and in every section to make sure that the voices are heard. One thing we've started with is our internal communications. We have a 1-page document. How we put this all on 1 page, it was pretty miraculous. But we started with a strong communication campaign. DTE on a page is what we've deemed this page, and we've shared it throughout the state in every inbox through all of our employees, and it's also on every wall in every office in every DMV in the state of Nevada. We have to consider the whole. There is a huge change coming. We've had the same computer system for 21 years, and now we are moving to the Salesforce platform, which is absolutely a change for the Nevada DMV. Our processes internally, technology, are also our business processes. There's a lot of change coming, and we have to be able to consider the whole lot of that and how it's going to affect the people. Remember, in advancing in modernization, we also need to take into consideration how are we going to make everything better? Well, we need to understand from the employees, how do they think it's going to be better? How many, it takes 10 clicks to issue a driver license. Well, let's get that down to 2. How can we do that? We were able to make a huge wish list from engaging with our employees and asking them what they want in a system, how we can better help them serve the public. And we created this wish list, and we are still going over the wish list and still adding to it. As we do move through changes, we're adding to that wish list and engaging with the employees to make sure their voices are heard. That's a huge bonus for an OCM group to be able to be in the mix with everybody. We want it really an Amazon experience. That would be, interrupt me if you'd like. I feel like I'm talking fast, but an Amazon experience. What's the best experience, customer experience you have online? Well, we're going to bring Salesforce along with us to be able to present that, an easy button for our customers, and it's going to be incredible.
Janelle, just to reinforce, when we talk modernization, we're really talking about the processes, the technology, and the organization. It's not just the technological modernization.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for stating that. We also have to put into perspective our compliance and security, which is the last bullet. We have to make sure that the personal identification information is secure, and we have a team of those individuals as well to make sure, our team of experts from DMV, from Solemn, from Salesforce, our number one concern is security and compliance. Thank you, Molly. So reaching our customers, the personas that I spoke of just a minute ago, the one on the screen is Alex. So Alex, we sent a survey out to the public. We got 18,000 responses from the Nevada driving public, and we were able to come up with the top 5 personas for the driving public. Alex is our optimizer. So she's the new to Nevada resident who is tech savvy, who wants nothing more than to never step foot in a Nevada DMV again. She wants to do everything from her phone, at least as much as possible, and have this an easy transition. And then we have Harley, who's the other on the whole other spectrum. And Harley is doesn't own a computer, doesn't want to use his cell phone, and wants to be helped at the counter. And we're, of course, going to help him too, because the DMV offices are not going anywhere. We have a lot of people to serve and a lot of different types of people to serve. And the personas help us with that.
And he only uses cash.
Yes, yes. So we have to have Farley come in and sit with us and visit with us. These personas were sent to all DMV locations. So as we travel throughout the state, the same message, a consistent, transparent message is sent throughout the state of Nevada. In every office, there's a persona wall. So not only do we have personas for the customers, but we also came back to the drawing board and created personas for our employees, front office, back office, IT, administrative services that collect the money. We have different personas for different areas, so that we again put that face with the transactions that we're discussing and with the changes that we are creating. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Molly.
Yeah, so it's a great segue, Janelle. Everything that Janelle has talked about, we really wanted to find out what our customers wanted, what our stakeholders needed. So before we embarked on this journey, at the very beginning of our journey, we started with an alignment and discovery phase. One of the big things that we did was put out surveys. We had focus groups, and this was not just with our internal staff. This was with dealerships, with other stakeholders, to really align with what we plan to do in our transformation effort. We received thousands of responses. It was really overwhelming, and also helped us to feel more secure about our plans for our roadmap, utilizing Salesforce and MuleSoft in order to lift our business model online. We were doing exactly what the public and our stakeholders really wanted us to do. We prioritized our customer experience. In order to replace our outdated technology, we are looking to automate and provide efficient services. And that's really what our customers want and need. That's a big lift, right? We are on an old legacy mainframe. And in order to move off of that, we have to bring our current legacy staff with us in order to keep us on the train tracks while we're building in the new platform. We have to bring the correct tools on. Bob mentioned this is not just a technology transformation. We're changing the way that we do business. We're replacing tool sets, the way that we manage projects. As we mentioned, we're working with MuleSoft. We are working with Slalom. They are providing a lot of the facilitation and helping us with the program structure so that we can lift the transactions that we need to lift in the proper way. I mentioned that our first focus was our new residents. And our new residents, they need the ability to come in and get a title, a registration, a driver's license. So as we embarked on this journey, we put parallel work streams together, the way that we structured the program with our Slalom and Salesforce teams, so that we can develop and build transactions in all of these work streams at the same time. We have an integrations pod. We are consistently building upon our original alignment and discovery. We approached this from a capability standpoint. So during our discovery, we looked at our entire department, all of the capabilities and the products that we offer our customers, and we're using an iterative design process. What that allows us to do is truly be flexible. We're able to identify all of the capabilities we know we have to provide and plug in the new tools that will get us there as we configure in Salesforce. What that's really allowed us to do as we moved forward, we started building for Alex, the driver's license, the registration and title. We are holding quarterly planning sessions, and in one of those sessions, we learned that we had a contract expiring in our compliance enforcement division, and we had to replace a solution for them. We were able to take the work that we were already doing in our other pods and reprioritize very quickly as a leadership team in 2 days and walk away with a new plan that was still getting all of our other work done in parallel to solving our contract issue in compliance enforcement. So one of the first things that we're standing up is the case management system for compliance enforcement. We're due to release that in March, and we're really excited about that. All of the work that went into that is foundational for all of the other pods. we've been able to pivot because we are working in this agile environment. We're changing how we manage projects, and it's really allowed us to move resources where we need them, when we need to move them, and continue development even when we have to pivot because we need to make a change. And I will turn it over to Bob to talk a little bit more about that iterative design process.
Hi, I'm Bob Kalin. I'm the Senior Advisor for DTE. And just to clarify what that means, my role is to make sure DMV stays on track and achieves its vision over this journey that we're taking. One of the key things that has enabled us to be flexible is the adoption of an agile approach. And without going into all the details, everyone knows what agile is, but the key point that we've discovered in this process is the human-centric focus that we've adopted, bringing our teams together, making sure they understand the agile process and how it works, gets them to the point where they feel they can have input, where they can help build and create the solution that we're trying to achieve. And the neat thing there is it allows us to put discipline and maturity in place that we never had before. So even though it's a new process to DMV and we're doing these sprints and people are learning how to do sprints and what a retrospective is, it's allowed us to change culture, which is part of that whole organizational shift. And we're going from an old waterfall methodology into the agile world and making it work because of our person-centric approach and bringing the work teams, the pods, as Molly termed it, into this new environment and coaching them and mentoring them as we go along. And this is all due to, if you go to the next slide, what we're trying to achieve. For context, we are coming from an old mainframe system that's COBOL, CICS, typical IBM environment. Overlaid on top of that is about a 15-year-old Power Builder Sybase environment that does a bunch of things, including the user presentation. And then on top of that, we have .NET stuff that has been added over the last 5 or 6 years as we've moved functionality to the web. Overall, it's an extremely complex, monolithic, as our IT, as our CIO calls it, a Frankencode environment. So we're moving from that into this new agile world with a whole bunch of web-based tools. The key tools that we're working with, of course, are Salesforce and MuleSoft, but we're laying those over AWS for our cloud storage, Nintex for document and template management, Drawbridge for our financial management solution, Tableau for our analytics, and probably about 5 other smaller tools that make all this work. So we're moving from the Stone Age, hate to say it that way, but into a cutting edge, completely web-based world. And so the agile process and the planning processes that we're using to get us there are absolutely critical to ensure that we move everyone along. And our focus is to build a 360-degree case management solution. Everything we do at the DMV is really a case management. A case can be providing a registration or providing a title, or investigating a compliance complaint, which is a longer case and a different process, but it's all based on this case management context. And we're overlaying that with a full service contact center so that we can really provide those services to the customer. It's self-service, artificial intelligence, and focus to really allow us to adapt and be flexible as things change. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Molly.
So what's really exciting is everything that's ahead, right? Bob just talked about the customer 360 view. What we are really focused on is how can we best serve our customers. And we know that we're building title registration and driver's license transactions and that we're moving those online. But when we come together for our quarterly plannings and our roadmap reviews, we talk about our current pain points. What we found very early on was that one of our pain points is our call center. It's our backlog of calls. People sit on hold. They walk into an office because they don't want to sit on hold. So we looked at the features available to us in Salesforce, and we very quickly pivoted because of the nature of how we set up our program. We were able to move resources and or bring resources on to quickly stand up a Salesforce chatbot. And we're excited to say we're actually doing our soft launch December 14th for our Salesforce chatbot. We've seen the demos, and we are very excited because we've built impactful conversations based on the research that we've done into our call center, based on our highest volumes of calls, which, go figure, were regarding titles. There are a lot of other areas that we're going to cover in that very impactful knowledge base. We're able to quickly thereafter bring in our Spanish iteration of chatbot to hit the next largest population that we'll be working with on the web. In addition to that, I've mentioned our case management system for compliance enforcement will be going live in March. And we have focused effort on streamlining some title work for our dealerships that will also be delivering in springtime. What we're looking to do really is utilize any foundational work and analytics that come out of these first deliveries to continue to drive our priorities. Chatbot, as an example, we've started with our call center research. We know what people are calling about, and we know how many transactions we do a day in the title arena, the registration arena. But we want to use the analytics that come out of that chatbot to drive our next iterations, drive how we build our knowledge base. And as we stand up each tool using Tableau, using the native capabilities in Salesforce, those analytics will help us drive, as we continue in this agile fashion, what we're going to prioritize in each quarter, which is very exciting. I keep mentioning compliance enforcement because it was the first time in my experience at DMV, when we found out about that expiring contract, that we went into a room as a leadership team with 7 divisions who were all impacted by these decisions and walked out in 2 days with a new plan that we've executed on. We're about to stand up our chatbot. The only reason we're able to do that is because of this agile approach that we're taking. And in the future, we will be able to respond to legislative needs. We won't have to say no to every request because it requires 4,000 hours of legacy programming time. It's really just provided us with the agility that we require in order to do everything that we have coming up in the future. And with that, I will hand it over to you, Janelle.
Thank you.
About to hand it over to you.
I didn't want to get. I wanted to kind of give you a little more context about where we've been and where we're at now. So we've had a couple attempts at a modernization that were not successful. Because of those experiences, we have learned so much of what to do, what not to do, and we were able to come together as the leadership team, as Molly mentioned, and really take those lessons learned and choose our path forward for this project, the DTE project right now. So I want to kind of bring the human aspect to that. A lot of our employees have been with the DMV for years, and we have lived through the challenges of lessons learned in the past. So the communication, the transparent communication, and bringing the employees along with us on this journey is so important because there is doubt and there is fear, and we need to address those things and have open communication so that we talk about it, so that people talk about their feelings, they talk about how they feel, how they're concerned, what they're excited about. You know, we'd have to bring them in on every level. It's really important to just get everyone in a room Bob had mentioned, our IT had never been in the same room together to discuss things and to talk about that path forward. We were able to get all of them in the same room for several hours to hash out what things have gone well, what we want, and what our vision is for our future, what our North Star is, and what that means to every division. So I just wanted to bring that up before we jump right into our best practices. I'll just take the first one and pass it on. So guess what? The first bullet is using your change management for changes impacting staff. That is an OCM group. Find your people person that's in your group. You need that person on the leadership team to bring everything forward, to bring the concerns, the good and the bad. We have to talk about all of it. Find that person in your group, in your area, in your division, to bring that information forward. I want to make sure that you understand that surviving change is really something we have to learn how to do. A lot of us do it naturally. Some people do not. So there's books, there's research, there's all kinds of things that you can search for surviving change and helping your employees survive that change with you. You have to switch that mindset. Again, bringing them with you and not pushing the change at them will change the entire perspective of how these projects are successful. So one thing I want to do to just drive home, remembering your OCM, is I'm going to ask for audience participation, and we can see you a little bit. So if you have a drink in your hand or anything, I would put it down, because I'm going to ask you guys to do this with me a little bit here. Molly and Bob, you know the drill. So
yeah.
we're gonna do it together. So I want you to remember OCM. So that is organizational change management. Help your people, help each other through this, as you're in it for the long haul. So thank you. Bob, I'm gonna pass it to you.
Awesome. And as you're thinking about OCM, one of the key things as you look to building your solutions, design from two angles. One, from the user story, and we grew our user stories from the personas. And two, build those user stories to the capabilities that you're trying to accomplish and build out. We documented every single capability the Nevada DMV has, and we're slowly filling in colored boxes for each of those capabilities as we build user stories. Absolutely important. The next point, and this was a lesson that we drew from our two failures, and they were multi-million-dollar failures with lots of attention. We really believe in transforming everything. Nothing's off the table. Nothing is too hard. Nothing is taboo. Look at everything. Make sure that the slightest little thing is included as you look and plan things. You don't have to do it all at once. Build that into your capabilities and user stories, but don't exclude anything as you look at that. The weirdest little things have come up as we're talking about what we're doing that either block or enable work that we're doing. So make sure it's out there and looked at. The fourth bullet, total transparency. We have taken our project plan, our issues, our risks, our schedule, and it's online. It's available for the entire DMV staff. It's online and available to the Legislative Council Bureau and to legislators. It's available to the new governor that's coming in. We want to make sure nothing is behind closed doors, and primarily because we're under such scrutiny from the last two efforts, but it really enhances the team effort and their willingness to tackle hard issues because they're not forbidden. It's expected that you're going to discuss blockers, challenges, or anything. But that transparency has allowed us to get incredible support behind this effort at all levels, from staff all the way up through the funding stakeholders at the legislature. Key point. And then this may seem obvious, but because we are using an agile mode, But we believe this going in, and it's one of the reasons why we selected an agile methodology. And that is we want incremental change and we want continuous improvement throughout the project. And those are the rules. We are really trying to ensure that we have frequent rollouts, frequent reviews, frequent go lives with things. And we are adding value to DMV, not just at the end when everything's live, but through that curve leading up to it throughout our 4-year journey. And with that, I think we'll turn it over to all of you for questions if you have them. Thank you very much for your attention.